Really, that's all right. May I have your attention, please? And then you'll have ours. We thank you for coming. We appreciate you here. We're gonna start our meeting. We start off with prayer, then we salute the flag, and then we'll get to you.
Microphones are we can hear you.
Yes, I had it moved in case I cursed it. Nobody.
Let us pray. Dear gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon each and every one of us in this room. Thank you for this great county in which we live. Thank you for this great state of Florida. Thank you for this great country. Thank you, dear Lord, for the freedoms that we enjoy by being Americans. Now guide and direct us. Help us to make decisions that are not only beneficial to our citizens, but also are pleasing unto thee. We pray these things, dear Lord, in your name. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
For all, right? We appreciate everyone being quiet. We can hear. I can't hear anyway. So anything you say, I couldn't hear. Anyway, we want to start with our administrator for just a few moments.
Mr. Westbrook, we do have two additions to the agenda. The first agenda item we're adding is under section 1, item 1. The second addition would be section 4, item number 9 regarding CDBG.
Mr. Chairman, I'll offer a motion that we approve the agenda as advertised with the notations and additions as spelled out by Mr. Dean.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Mr. Branch, you recognize.
Thank you. Can you hear me now? Well, I don't know what to.
Well, excuse me, just now, I don't know how I can help you, but the quieter you are, the more you can hear. Go ahead.
I wanted to start off tonight by saying, I mean, it's very evident of what's on everybody's mind here tonight. And I think that we need to address this thing head on. I want to say up front that I'm not for this. However, there's some things that we have to do to protect us if we do not do this. I don't think it's a good thing for our county. I don't think it's a good thing for any of us. And with that being said, I would like to make a motion to set a 1-year moratorium on any data centers or construction thereof.
10 years. Okay, 5.
Be quiet.
There are certain things that has to be done in order it to be done legally. And we can extend it. We can adapt it. But I think that if we start out with a 1 year, let the new law come into effect July 1st, I think we'd be on solid ground. Yeah, I'd like to ask our attorney if he will explain to everyone what's the process of this.
So I'm going to look at you all, commissioners, and look at the crowd. So what I think we need to do is a 1-year moratorium. That'll give us enough time to allow Section 65, Senate Bill 44 to come into effect, which will give the county the ability to regulate these data centers in a more comprehensive manner through the comp plan and the land development code. That can effectively be the moratorium that all these folks are here for today. I think if we go longer than a year, we can open ourselves up to potential litigation. It can always be renewed, it can always be repealed, but moving forward, I think the best course of action would be to start with the moratorium, have staff come back to the board and commission, both planning and zoning and this board, with a workable ordinance that you all can either pass or not pass, however you want to go through, change that, and regulate these centers from coming into our county, coming into Jackson County. I think that's the most prudent course of action that gives us the best legal protection. Is that better? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So I think that will give us the best path forward. For those of you that didn't hear it, there was a,
Yes. Let the attorney speak, please.
so
Please, thank you.
Senate Bill 484 was passed in the most recent legislative session. It takes effect on July 1st. That gives the county to regulate through the land development code and the comprehensive plan, all data centers that will come into the county.
You finished, Mr. Attorney.
Just if I can just make one more
Go
comment.
right
So
ahead.
I'm advising the board to pass a temporary moratorium to give us the time to study this, get the appropriate information, and come back to you all with something that is workable pursuant to Florida Statute 65 and Senate Bill 484. We've got to do our homework. We've got to give the board the opportunity to come through and do this in a manner that's legal and protects the county from potential litigation moving forward.
Mr. Crutchfield, you recognize. You're out of order in the back. Wherever you're talking, you're out of order now. Mr. Crutchfield, you recognize.
Yeah, my feelings is on it, I'm not for it. And I understand what the attorneys said, and we had to go along with that. First off, I know we were elected to do what's best for the county and what's best for the citizens. That's what we're elected for, and that's what we want to do. That's what I want to do, I know, and I think the rest of the board does too. But, you know, we also have an attorney that kind of can advise us on the best thing to go. That don't mean in a year from now, we're gonna make it, you know, come up and say, well, we're gonna pass it for them to do whatever. We're gonna look at what's gonna be best for the county. And, you know, it could come back again, just like y'all are doing right now. And so this is not saying it's gonna be for, it's just gonna be for 1 year, and then to go through the deal in July there and see what's best for the county and citizens. That's where I stand at.
Mr. Donafro, you recognize.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of information out there, a lot of misinformation. May I have the opportunity to speak? There's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of misinformation out there. I think it's very prudent for us to take the time to do our due diligence, do our research to find out if a data center is proposed, which I understand there's not one actually proposed right now. But if there is one proposed, gives us the opportunity to do our due diligence, do our research to find out whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Right now, based on everything that I am seeing, more than likely would be a bad thing, but I think this gives us the moratorium gives us an opportunity to do our due diligence. I think it's a very prudent way for us to move forward. As our attorney said, and as Mr. Crutchfield and Mr. Branch said, this protects us from potential lawsuits and also gives us ample time to study the issue. So I'm in favor of the motion as stated.
Dr. Spires, you want to say?
Well, I think
Yes,
Mr. Donifro and Commissioner Branch basically stated, if I'm hearing our attorney correctly, you're saying that we don't want to open ourselves up to potential lawsuit. So the motion was to do 1 year moratorium on it. We have to revisit it after that time. So be it.
Please.
As I understand it, Commissioner Branch, correct me if I'm wrong, your motion was to put a 1 year moratorium on the data center for right now, okay? And if I understood the attorney correctly, he's saying we can revisit it in a year from now and see what needs to happen. So we're not saying we're gonna approve it a year from now. We're just saying giving us time to make sure that everything is done legally and we not expose the county to a lawsuit, right? So having said that, then I'm certainly in support of your motion as well.
Thank you.
First
of all,
I'll second the motion. Go ahead.
okay, I have a motion and a second. When I get finished, and we'll move on. My turn. I would never vote for it if they had a gun in my head. There's too many unnamed things and we don't know about. And I'm not gonna be for something that I don't know about it, regardless of whether I'm in Mariana or if I'm in Miami. But at the same time, We appreciate every one of you coming. We're gonna do our best to please you. If we can't, we apologize, but we're gonna do our best. So without further ado, go ahead.
I have one more thing. We're not saying that we're going to impose the moratorium tonight and wait for a year to do this. We'll start to work on it now to see what things that we'll say.
I sure will. I'll tell you what, ma'am, you move right up here where you can hear us and we won't have to listen to all that. Now, I about had enough of that. If you can't hear, I'm sorry. Yes, sir. Well, I'm in the same boat. But he can't holler. Go ahead, Mr. Branch, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me now better? What I was saying is, we're not saying we're going to forget about this thing for a year, because we can't do that. We got to start on it tomorrow. We're working toward an effective defense for it. And when we get to that defense, and I feel like we can do that, from what I've read, and I'm not an attorney, I'm far from it. But I know there are ways that we can adjust some of our ordinances that can help us stop this thing in the tracks. That just gives us time to work on it. And as long as I'm here, I'm going to be against it. So I think this just gives us a little time to make a better case for not to allow it. I don't want to allow it. I don't think any person up on this podium wants to allow it. So that's where we at.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. You finished. Oh, just give this board a chance to speak. They were elected and you got an opportunity to vote for them or against them in the next election. Anybody that's from this county. We thank you. We appreciate you coming. We're going to do our best to accomplish what we started out to do. But we want you to be quiet where the lady can hear or anybody else. I can't hear either. You recognize?
Yeah, I want y'all to understand my feelings about it. I'm on the other side. I'm not for it, but we got procedure we gotta go through and all, but I still be on y'all's side. Thank you.
Any other commissioner want to speak? Without further ado, we'll vote. All in favor of the motion and the second, signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. There's your 5-0 vote. Thank you. Thank you. Stay as long as you like. If you want to speak, we have a board has a policy of 3 minutes. If you'll speak for about a minute, if you want to speak, I'll allow you to, but we don't want to spend the night here talking over something we've already done. But anybody that wants to be recognized right now, come forward. Good. Your name?
I appreciate y'all. Y'all know how beautiful Compass Lake and all that is.
We do.
And I just hope y'all guys, we elected y'all to take care of us like that, and you just hope y'all do that for us. And I've worked my whole life to live where I live at. I'm getting ready to retire, and this is the last thing I need on top of my feelings. So I'll find you. I appreciate y'all taking care of it.
We thank you very much. We thank you very much. I feel the same way as you do in Bascom, Florida. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Ms. Jones? All right, take off. Hurry.
Thank you for passing the resolution. My name is Karen Schoen and I am in Greenwood.
Yes, ma'am.
I would, on behalf of all the people that are here that could hear, couldn't hear, et cetera, I would request that we have several town hall meetings that would be scheduled where people could go and speak about what their feelings are so that people get heard instead of having a group like this, which we all love the people that came. We appreciate everyone that's here and your actions, but people need to be heard. And perhaps if we can have some town hall meetings where we can voice our opinion, that would help everyone.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you having something on the agenda that wasn't even on the agenda, is not on the agenda now, we've done pretty good. You got 5 good board members, a good attorney, and a good administrator. Move along. Minute and a half.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I had a whole speech written, but y'all kind of covered it
Good.
in the beginning,
Thank you.
so I appreciate that. The 1 year ban, I think, will be a good amount of time in order to give you guys time to learn what you're wanting to learn, get that information processed, etc. When the 1 year ban is up, however, I was wondering if there's any way the county could be more involved regarding the actual decision made, if they are to be built. How can we help you guys? How can we educate you guys? How can we let you know what we think you need to know in order to prevent this from happening?
Well, and we all, not to interrupt the attorney, but we all are be able to be reached at some point in time. It's a part-time job. Everybody serves on it as a part-time job.
Yes, sir.
So sometime you might not get it, especially when that water's in the middle of that road. You might not get it, but I understand that. But I yield to this.
Yeah, so there will be 2 public hearings for the ordinance regarding the moratorium. There'll be a P and Z hearing for the initial ordinance changing the comp plan or land development, the comp plan and land development code. And then there'll be 2 hearings on the ordinance that will effectively change it. So there'll be 5 opportunities.
And there will be public speaking there. You can come.
It's a public hearing.
Yes,
so
sir.
There has to be public comment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excuse me, what's his name? Can we give you his name?
Yes, sir. We get your name.
Sorry, that's no problem.
Elijah.
Elijah, what's your last name?
Elijah Simmons. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. All right. Hold it to about a minute if you can, and we'll try to let many people speak.
You know,
if we
that's
can.
not
Thank
easy
you.
for me to.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you so much for, taking some time to talk to everybody here. I did give you some information, a packet to each of you as to why communities are concerned about this, why it's really an issue that we need to talk about. There's many, many reasons, and again, trying to keep this short. The water, the energy, the quality of life, the infrastructure, what the state is gonna want the local municipalities to cover, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot to this. I see no good reason for it. I see it being as a total negative, just like I see solar farms as being a total negative. We need to make sure everybody's educated and an educated decision. And I totally agree with Karen Schoen. We need to have town hall meetings. We need to make sure the public is fully engaged and educated on what this is about, because you can't depend on media. But anyway, is that too?
Thank you. Well, and-
Sally Baptist.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. And we have to have those public hearings.
Yeah, okay. Well, the town, excuse me.
Be right here unless we change it.
Okay, the only thing I'll say is,
Anything in television says our administrator or any of this board can trump that. So remember, when they tell you something, they may just tell you something off the top of their head.
right, assume nothing and double check everything,
Right.
that kind of thing. The only thing, when it comes to the town hall, what I was hoping, compared to a regular formal public hearing, a town hall is a much more open discussion and sharing of information.
Yes,
Sometimes public hearings are a little bit more, I'll say, rigid and limited.
Can you
Thank
state
you.
your name can you state your name for the record?
Yeah, Sally Baptist, Baptiste, just like a church name at the end. And I'm in the Compass Lake area, Jackson County. Thank you.
All right. Give me your name.
James Longhurst. I would like to just give a little background. I've got 25 years in 3 different government entities. One of the things that we were thinking, or my wife and I were thinking about, is the opportunity or the possibility, because obviously the commission has a genuine consensus for concern to the citizens of this county. Would it not be a possibility for there to be a committee of, let's say, 10 representative people within the scope of the area affected by this, and some that may be even outside the scope, to be put together in assistance? Because obviously you guys are doing this as a part-time, and we have not only the vested interest and concern for our health and well-being, plus our property. Because if the property goes dry and dies, you guys, in all your essence of anybody thinking about money from the company that is depleting everything, you have lost your constituents. So my thinking is, if you all come to a consensus to think that it might be helpful, I know we have a handful of people back here that would be willing to volunteer to discover all kinds of possibilities of this particular data center information to be brought to light.
That'll be wonderful. Where's your home?
Alford, Florida, just miles from where the center is. That gentleman that was here that lives next side it, we would be affected grossly.
Just about every person up here are their landowners or property owners or ad valorem payers, what I would tell you. So we all understand that about the law, the land, but we appreciate you bringing that to mind, and we appreciate it, and we'll take that under consideration.
And the young
Without
lady has my information. If you all want to get in touch with me,
Yes,
I have led plenty of things in government, and I have no problem with addressing something to be able to put together something for you,
okay.
if that benefits any.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Your name?
Hi, my name is Kelly Edwards.
Didn't hear you.
Kelly Edwards.
Kelly Evans.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So I was really grateful that I think it was Miss Baptist that put
That's
together
fine.
the
Go ahead.
packet. I think it was really great that, I believe it was Miss Baptist that put together the packet of information for you. I don't know what's in it, but I think that's a great idea. The reason I was gonna come up here and speak was to tell you different things about, you know, how this is gonna affect our water, not only the amount of water that the data center will use, but when it's done using that water, what happens to it afterwards? And how typically they just push it through the aquifer. The water treatment facilities typically don't have the filtering abilities to eliminate in that closed loop system, the anti-corrosives, the anti-scalings, the biocides that happen as the water goes through the data center. So not only would it be possibly draining our aquifers, but also contaminating them when they back flush it. So there's a lot of information, and I'm grateful that you guys have decided to take a year pause so that we can research this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Nick Zateslo. I am a candidate for District 2 Congress here in the North Florida area that covers Jackson County. But I've spent my career in working for political policy and recently in AI and in around these data centers. And I understand what they are and how they work. And I'm here to tell you made the right choice. The moratorium is the correct thing to do. And I hope I can be helpful in any way going forward on just advice, help, ideas on what we're talking about here.
Provided you get elected, I imagine there'll be a lot of.
I hope so. I hope so. I wrote a little bit here, and I just want to read a little bit about what I'm thinking here. This facility is not a normal data center. We talk about these, we mean our bank data, our email data, our company's data. This is not that. These are intelligence factories. The output is your jobs. The output is our local economy. We're also dealing with the fact that they used all of our data to build these things. This is not normal data centers. The water usage, the electrical usage is astronomically bigger than anything they're even telling you about. The other piece is that it consumes around the clock up to 60 diesel generators, this size site. 60 hospital-sized diesel generators, full backup needed. Now they say it's only for hurricanes, but we know we're gonna get those. We know they're coming, and that means they're gonna turn those things on all the time. This is not a theoretical issue. The records on this are being hidden. The LLC behind this was formed in 2005. It's been dormant for 12 years. It was reinstated 13 months ago at a Tallahassee residential address, and I have the deed. No developers have been named. No end user has been named. You don't know who you're negotiating with, and that alone should stop this process dead in its tracks. Governor DeSantis signed SB 484, but it also creates records exemptions and NDAs that start on July 1st.
The time's about up.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that you can talk to your lawyer about how to deal with those NDAs and what to do. And I just want to say, this is something happening to places all around the country. This is not a coincidence. Jackson County is a target. They're going to come back. So make sure that you do what you need to do. Thank you for instituting the moratorium, and I appreciate any time you can give. Thank you so much.
Okay. About a minute and a half,
Sorry,
about a minute and a half.
I'll be quick, I promise. I just wrote down a note here so I can go off of it, so I didn't have to memorize anything. I apologize in advance for the brashness on this. I did not know how you guys were going to be, on the subject. So, maybe take this as more of a reminder than me trying to attack you guys. My name's Gabriel Beckworth. I live in Alfred, Florida. I'd like to start by saying that you guys work for we the people, not a corporation. We do not want data centers here. These data centers consume millions of gallons of water per day. Where is that water going or coming from? Well, it's coming from Compass Lake and the aquifer that we in the area rely on. We just experienced one of the worst droughts on record. There was water restrictions all across the panhandle that, what happens when that happens again? Do you think the data center will shut down to conserve water? I think not. There's already multiple cases where residents have experienced their water becoming polluted and turning brown after a data center was built. This data center will suck not only Compass Lake, but also the aquifer dry, and the citizens will be left to suffer. Our electricity bills are going to skyrocket because they will pass the cost of this place on to the taxpayer. These data centers don't provide jobs for anyone in the area. Local communities around these centers have already been built, report a constant buzzing coming from the data centers and their cooling systems. It is described as akin to lawnmower running 24 hours a day, which even closed windows don't shut out. And make no mistake, my fellow Americans, this data center, coupled with the flock safety cameras that are popping up everywhere, will be used to track your every move. They will build and have been building a profile on each and every one of us. Where do you think that information is going to be stored?
About
I
out of
remind you,
time.
yes, sir, last sentence here.
Thank you.
I remind you once more, you work for us, not them. As I don't live in Jackson County, I will have to rely on my fellow citizens that do to recall each and every one that votes against the will of the people and replace with someone that will fight for us on our side. But it sounds to me like you guys have it.
Yeah.
I live in Houston, Texas. I've been there a little over 3
Speak
years.
up, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I live in Houston, Texas. I live in a place called Willis, Texas, in the Woodlands.
500 miles.
Yes, sir. I'm from here, but I got married and moved off and went there. My husband works for a freight company. Now, these data centers are coming in. They are sucking the water out. And it's just, even Sid Miller, he's saying that they got to put a halt on it, and it's really going wild in Texas. My husband delivers everywhere at hospitals. They got robots. It's just unbelievable the things that he tells me that's going on. So I'm glad y'all voted the way y'all did. I mean, if it was me, I would probably put a longer halt on it because it is very serious. Big cities are really suffering from this. And so I just thank y'all for y'all's vote.
We thank you for coming.
Cindy Brake. It's Cindy Brake.
I am Katrina.
You're recognized.
I am Katrina Parker. I actually live at the county line in Bay County. And
You live in Bay County, you live in Jackson.
I live in Bay County.
Okay.
And if this infrastructure comes in, I'm gonna be looking at the rooftop. I've got about 3 minutes here, but I will email it to you if y'all promise that you will read it.
Minute and a half.
So, this is like 2 miles south of me. I'm the highest point in Bay County. I really hope that you guys consider and talk to Calhoun County, which is my east fence. Bay County, you've got Washington County to the west. This just doesn't affect Jackson County. This affects everybody. On my parcel, which is 90 acres, I have a creek at the north end that flows into the Ecofina. I have a documented natural spring that's there. All of that will be sucked dry. My property, my future, that's my retirement, will be gone. So I appreciate y'all giving a year. I don't quite understand all of that, but I will keep in touch, and I will make sure that Bay County is front and center.
Have you spoken to your county commissioners in Bay County?
If you could, no, I can't get a hold of them. I was told I could Google the information.
Well, it looks like you've gotten a hold of all of us.
So I
Yes, ma'am.
appreciate that. And like I said, I would like to email this if you promise that you will read my 3 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Sir, please tell them your name.
Zach Detweiler. First off, let me start by saying thank you, gentlemen. Public service is not an easy thing to do, so we appreciate you guys
Yes,
taking the
we
time to
understand.
do this and listen to all of us. I find that sugar helps a little better than salt does. So I am a project engineer. I've project managed hundreds of millions of dollars worth of projects. I've worked with FDEP, NRCS, a bunch of different alphabet agencies, and I'm a policy expert in a lot of different areas. So I'm going to give you guys some tips on how to move forward on writing some of your ordinances and comp plans and things like that. Yeah. Number one, you guys are not allowed to wait on state approvals for things like hydrological plans or other items like that before approving or denying your plans. You can put into your comp plan, however, the requirements that the same state regulated hydrological plans be put into any industrial basically DOs that you would go through and do. So those same things that they're already going to have to do at the state level, you can require them, and you can actually put in requirements that say if you don't meet X, Y, and Z, we can deny you on those basis. They're already doing the plans. It's not going to cost them any extra money. Another thing that you can do is look into regen and the repushing of the material that's going to be going back down into the aquifer. They have the ability to build basically ponds that will filter it out properly and not just pump it back down into the aquifer. They do it at plenty of industrial sites. You have the ability to do that as well. Another thing that you can look at is mechanical cooling. They do it at a lot of AI centers inside of cities. They have the money to do it. Don't let them tell you that they don't. The other thing that I would tell you to look at is going to be what's called heat doming. So when they pump the water out of the ground, basically it runs through these heat sinks, and these heat sinks just pump the heat out into the air. For up to a 5-mile radius around these centers, they have recorded up to 16-degree changes in the middle of the day because of the amount of humidity and heat that are coming up off of these plants. So you're talking about Compass Lake, you're talking about all the surrounding properties having a 16-degree heat change during the summers. On top of that, what you have to look at is, because they're going to be drawing these aquifers down, you're going to have sinkholes like they do in Central Florida. You're also going to have the root systems of all the trees in the areas being sucked dry. These root systems only go down so deep. So in these drought situations, you notice some of your pines starting to get brown and things like that. That's because these root systems couldn't handle it. You suck it down any further, you're not even talking about well pumps and things like that for residents. You're now talking about trees. Yes, sir.
About it.
Just wanted to bring some of those to your attention, and good luck to the county employees.
And to the gentleman that just spoke, we have the Northwest Florida Water Management District that regulates us all the way from Pensacola to down Monticello. And not that it makes a lot of difference, but I've been a water well driller for about 49 years. Thank you. Go ahead, ma'am. You got a minute and a half.
My name is Jenny Robinson. I live in Sneeds. I did also have 3-minute long speech, so I'll just try to extract a little bit of it. Just echoing what people have said, you know, all 5 water management districts in Florida have issued water shortage notices. So we're already dealing with the fact that we're running out of water due to population growth and overdevelopment. So now at this point, I think everybody's feeling like we're competing with machines for life, for water, for our natural resources. So we're supposed to stop watering our crops in our gardens and take fewer showers while they're draining our reservoirs and our aquifers. So I have a very hard time visualizing how much water these things actually use. So if you're talking about a smaller scale one, they're using probably 110 million gallons of water a year. To the larger scale ones, they'll use 1 to 10 million gallons a day. So to me, I had to look at it. Okay, Lake Seminole. Lake Seminole has 119 billion gallons of water plus some. We have 110 data centers in Florida alone. So they use over 12 billion gallons of water a year, and it would take only 9 years for them to pump that lake dry, the equivalent of that lake. That's significant. So that's just, to me, that puts it in perspective how much these things use. So yes, it's not just a Jackson County issue, and it's not just a Florida issue. So these things are popping up all over the place, and they're just destroying people's lives and their communities. But thank y'all for putting the moratorium on. We appreciate everything that y'all do. And maybe we'll see y'all in a year.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate you. Next lady, excuse me.
Hello, my name is Carol Pullen. I'm just gonna give you 30 seconds here. Not only is it's gonna affect, the water system, it's gonna affect the animals and then, the farmers around here too. Not just in the long term, not short term, but long term. Um, the people that before me said it all, and I don't have a big speech, I'm not too bright. Um, but I just, for the long term, it's gonna hurt a lot of people around here. And, my dad is 84 years old, he lives off a well, so, God forbid, what happens to him if his well runs dry, and he lives in, around Compass Lake, around that area, Cottondale area. Um, so, I'm just really concerned about the elderly. Um, but anyway, that's that.
Yes, ma'am, thank you for coming.
I'm short,
Yes,
sorry.
ma'am, that's fine.
My name is Nan Thompson, and I'm actually from Washington County, but I am within the boundaries of the 3 miles. And if you stop and look at it, I would like you to consider bringing Washington County into this because there are residents on our side that could be affected. We're right off the Ecofina. I live right off County Line Road, which is right where they're planning on doing it. But it does affect not just your county, other counties as well. When you look at the 109 plus already centers running, okay, and there's like 38 in Miami, 4 in Tallahassee with others, smaller ones all over the state. And we right now are the 4th largest data center in the US. Do we need more? Right now we're in a drought and they say we need 25 to 30 inches of rain to get us back to where we need to belong and more so. So when you figure these, a medium-sized data center takes up 300,000 gallons, excuse me, and it's equivalent of a small town. Okay, well, Washington County has 26,000 people. Jackson County has approximately 49,000. How long before we're dry? And again, when we're out of water, what do the farms do? What do? We can live without data. I mean, I can put that phone down in a heartbeat, but I can't go without water.
You're about out of time. Go ahead.
What I want you to think about is the center that's coming in says they're going to be using Bloom Energy, which is a small, compact size of an air conditioner. Okay, that's fine and dandy. So their need would be less. But what happens when it doesn't work? Because I have done research on Bloom and it's not working in all areas and they are having subsidized. Just recently, the CEO of BlackRock, Larry Fink, stated that it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of must. All this must be funded by taxpayers or we fall behind China. Is this really what we want? Think about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Good
I
evening.
agree with your sign. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, County Commissioners. My name is Theron Engel. I just want to ask for clarification about the potential lawsuits and legislative barriers, because these obstacles have not been enumerated to the people just yet. Thank you.
It would be a lot worse if it wasn't lawsuits. They got deep pockets. Thank you. Hey,
Hi, Lee Ruff. I actually live in Calhoun County. I live by Mossy Pond, so not quite within that 3 mile, but darn should be affected by it. I'm tired of, I think all of us are here to oppose the data center. It's not a matter of if we think it's good for the county, which I heard many of you members mention.
every one of us is the same.
Is a matter of fact, I believe. Now, we could probably put it to a vote and prove that we, the people, disapprove of this data center. I think if you asked 90% of us here, we disapprove of the solar farms that are buying up and ruining our kids' future farmland. I want to know how, not how we litigate this or how do we push this off next year. How do we stop this from happening point blank, period? that is my question. Let's figure that out, because this isn't something that, how does this corporation with all this money decide that the people of this area are just worthless and our opinions don't matter, and how our way of life is irrelevant for what sum of money? I don't understand. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Minute
for,
back.
thank you for allowing me to speak, and thank you to everyone who showed up here tonight to fight this. My name is Zachary Luttrell. Growing up, I made the worst choices. I'm now 6 years clean by the grace of God. In those 6 years, my wife and I have earned the ability to call ourselves homeowners, young homeowners. I can now happily call myself a law-abiding, tax-paying homeowner. For you to build that data center several miles from my home, 6 exactly, is heartbreaking. I feel like you're stealing my hard-earned work. I will not force my wife and kids to such an environmental pollution. I'll have to move out, and seeing that I'm not wealthy and that this will destroy my property value, the question is, will I even be able to financially recover from this? Let's not forget about Inconfina and Compass Lake either. That sucks to tell my kids that because of a data center, family fun days at Inconfina may no longer be a thing. When did morals and empathy get tossed out the window for money? Is solar farm money not lucrative enough for you? Whatever happened to we the people? Thank you for your time, and God bless America.
Thank you. Recognize. You recognize.
My name is Loretta Forster. I live in Indian Springs. Thank you for making time for us to speak on this very important issue. Some municipalities and even states have considered or already enacted bans on large-scale data center development. I would like to see a ban on large-scale data center development in Jackson County. I understand that in the last meeting, the board acknowledged their need to be educated on the pros and cons of a facility such as this in a largely rural agricultural county. I feel certain that once the board has clarity on all the issues, they will agree that a ban is needed, not just a moratorium.
We
I
go
know
by
that-
the law, ma'am. Somebody else said that, we didn't.
I know that you know that Jackson County is a very special place. Its people and towns, its farms and local businesses, its rivers, springs, lakes, and forests are precious to us all. Washington Bay and Calhoun counties are also special in their own ways. A large-scale data center at this site is a risk for them too. But as you learn about large-scale data centers, please consider whether you'd want to see one developed on Dudley Road in District 1 or Golden Road in District 2. How about Carter's Mill Road in District 3? Or Birchwood in District 4? Or Hummingbird Lane? Or London Road or Butler Road? Redwood Drive and Clearwater Lane? Jackson County is home to us all. Please don't destroy our home.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. Ben. Tell me your name.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Benjamin Howard Odom, President and Broker of Countryland Realty Mariana. I come here today in opposition of any potential AI data centers. Rarely does a defining moment come across the desk of the county commissioner such as this. The choices you make on this issue will define not only your legacy, but the future of the natural resources of Jackson County that we hold so dear. Part of what makes Jackson County great is our natural resources. The Mill Pond, Shangri-La, Blue Springs, Gator Hole, Hole in the Wall, Chipola River, Compass Lake, and everything in between. AI data centers threatens to take all of this. For what? 100 jobs that turn into 50 jobs that turn into 25 jobs as AI advances? The proposed site of this location, less than a mile from Compass Lake, just before Bay County. What will happen to Compass Lake if the groundwater will be drawn down on a massive scale? I can tell you it won't be good. I certainly wouldn't rely on the AI data centers developers to provide an objective environmental assessment. They aren't going to present impartial science. They're going to give you a sales pitch. Don't get me wrong, I'm for economic development. I go to the seminars, I go to the meetings. This isn't economic development. It's industrial utility consumption with a press release. Data centers don't eliminate resource consumption. They shift the burden between the power grid and the water supply. The core trade-off for data center is this: save water, use more electricity. Save electricity, use more water, lots of water.
That's because cooling computers always requires moving heat somewhere. As it relates to closed loop systems, the AI boom is increasing demand faster than the efficiency gains on cooling. And they promise tax revenue. That's interesting because every town that gets one of these ends up hearing, well, actually, there were abatements, incentives, exemptions, credits, depreciation schedules, and amounting in a magical accounting portal in the Cayman Islands. As Mr. Dean pointed out last meeting, 80% of the assessed value of qualifying renewable energy devices is exempt from taxation, exempt. It's interesting that we subsidize both energy generation and energy consumption infrastructure, but call them both economic development. In closing, a community is worth more than the available land, the cheap water, and a nearby substation. People live here, families live here, and we deserve a development that benefits the public more than the server rack of billionaires. We ask you to please take a strong stance against AI data centers. As you have seen today and heard from your community, they're not wanted here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Give me that.
My name is Thomas Trofeter. I am a resident of Jackson County, living on Freeman Road. This AI data center that is possibly coming to our area is within 1,200 feet of my home, of my family. I'm a retired Vietnam era disabled veteran
God bless.
who has had our government, not this party, our government lie and deceive us. I suffer from exposure to Agent Orange and numerous other toxic chemicals. We don't know what this AI center is going to do, but I'm asking you to, each and every one of you, to stop this. Do everything in your power to stop it. I appreciate the moratorium. I understand. I would want it to be forever.
Me too.
I do understand why we can't. We have to go through the motions. Having been a government employee for 40 plus years, I fully understand we have to take the steps. But protect my children, my grandchildren, each and every one of your children and grandchildren, and do what's right for Jackson County, for Northwest Florida, because it affects everything all the way to the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
So please, do your due diligence. I will help in any way I can. I would sit on this possible citizen panel as a resident directly impacted. Whatever it takes, we need to work together and make it happen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for service.
Yes, sir. Thank you. That's what you fought for, and God bless you. Go ahead, man.
For the record, my name is Gabrielle Trofeter, and I am also on Freeman Road, right next door to the man that just spoke. That is my father-in-law. There's not enough info about this industry, is what I would say.
I agree with you.
Yeah, I looked up Bloom Energy Tech, I looked up some of the other technologies that are developing, and while they are promising and efficient and cleaner, they're not widespread enough yet. It would take a much longer amount of time before that becomes the norm. And I think I can speak for most of us here when I say we're all good Christians here, that we believe in human rights, we believe in protecting our loved ones. And so this, to me, is not even just an economic issue, but also like a human rights issue. And for an industry like this, the pros do not outweigh the damages done. And I would think that we don't need to be the guinea pigs of this industry. Even with the law that's been coming in from DeSantis to try and help, I don't think the law will keep up with how fast this industry is moving. But I would just ask that everyone look at this not just as an economic issue, but also as a human rights issue, and that a lot of us came to this rural area to get away from big city type stuff.
Thank you.
So thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Give him his
My name, huh?
name.
My name is Sylvia. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Sylvia Jones. I'm a resident of this region, and I came here tonight because I care deeply about our rural communities, our water, our wildlife, and the peaceful character of the places many of us call home. I live about 12 miles from the proposed site, and I believe our community deserves to be informed and involved before major decisions are made. I understand that economic development matters, and I understand that technology is advancing rapidly. But communities like ours should not be rushed into approving massive AI data centers projects without full transparency and a careful consideration of the long-term impacts. This proposed project is near Compass Lake, a quiet, beautiful area known for its cabins, forests, wildlife, and natural peace. People go there specifically because it's not overcrowded, it's not heavily industrialized. Families, retirees, visitors, they're all drawn there because it offers something increasingly rare, a quiet nature and a slower pace of life. And that matters. Once large industrial scale developments move into rural natural areas, the character of those places can change permanently. Across the country, communities are already raising concerns about large AI data centers because of the enormous demands they place on electricity, water, roads, and infrastructure. Before any proposal moves forward, I respectfully ask this commission to require full transparency regarding projected power usage, water usage, environmental impacts, and the long-term effects on nearby residents and natural resources. Jackson County is not just an empty land waiting to be industrialized. These are living ecosystems in real communities. Places like Compass Lake are valuable precisely because they are peaceful and natural, and they're still largely untouched.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. I urge this commission to move carefully and transparently in the best interest of our people. Thank you for your time.
My name is Sheila Dorgala. I'm here in Jackson County, and I'm speaking for the people. We say no. We have farmers that depend on this aquifer, and we don't need a data center swallowing it up on our farms. We all depend on them, and cheers to everybody else. Go for it.
Thank you,
Say
ma'am.
no.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Noreen Quincy. I live up at the Forks of the Creek. This data center is not close to where I live, but I can see what will happen. I came out of Fort Lauderdale 43 years ago because this place is beautiful. I also have had several trips to Weeki Wachee, which is now nothing more than Tampa North, okay? If you let it go, you can't get it back. Plant City is a prime example. They have given up their strawberries for condos and houses and all kinds of stuff. Their infrastructure has not been able to handle it. It has been a debacle from we know where. First and foremost, Mr. Westbrook, thank you for posting this on Facebook and letting me get 6,600 to my last count on change.org, because we don't need this. We don't want this. You want to support something? Support our local farmers. Support these people that can't even get crop insurance this year because of the drought. These are things that a lot of people don't know about unless they're farmers. I grew up and know your son really well, Mr. Donafro. Sean is one of my favorite people. Seriously.
I'll let him know.
Mr. Spires, I would like to talk to you about the pillows in our road. This is how we fix our potholes. We put pillows in them. Okay, this whole data center thing is a nightmare. Everybody in here said the impact on the water, the area, and all I can tell you is y'all are holding the key to something that is so golden, and that is this rural area. If you're gonna hang on to that key and you're gonna hang on to our votes, y'all better think about what you're doing, because we are not happy. You don't get this many people to show up at one of these meetings and to see a lot of happy faces.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
pray that you all will do your due diligence, as the lady before me and several thousand other people have said. Please understand, we don't want this here. We don't want the overdevelopment here. We don't need the infrastructure tackled. Yeah, hello, please don't do this. If you ever saw the increase in traffic on something that used to be a dirt road, that nobody knew where it went, so they didn't drive down it until it got paved. Now they don't drive down it because it'll take the front end of your car out. Hello? You know, if they could put it back to a dirt road, I'd be a happy camper.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would appreciate all your effort in this, every one of you. And remember, we do vote, and every person that's here votes. Pay attention, we're watching.
A really tough crowd. I'm
Do you
Ken
vote?
Brown.
Do you vote?
I do, yeah, I do vote. You're my commissioner, and you're also the guy that drilled my well, so thank you,
Thank you.
Mr. Westbrook.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
I thank you for the job.
Anyway,
I
I'm Craig
appreciate you
Brown,
coming to speak.
live in Indian Springs. I spent most of my career working in the computer software and hardware industry. A couple years out of date now, but I moved to Jackson County to get away from this kind of thing. I'm also a proud graduate of the Jackson County Citizens Academy. Thank you, Mary. Anyway, every few years, the computer industry comes up with a new buzzword, a new thing. This is just the latest. It's artificial intelligence. Prior to this, it was big data, and before that, it was cloud computing and object-oriented programming. I've lived through all that stuff. Trust me, this is a fad. Artificial intelligence, it promises to replicate human intelligence and human thought process. They're not there yet. All they can do right now is mine the World Wide Web, the internet, for data, both good and bad, and regurgitate it in a way that makes you think you're dealing with a human being. The only thing they've really made advances in is graphics and imaging. They can manipulate those and make them look like photographs or real videos, which unfortunately for you guys ruins video and photographic evidence. That is the one thing they made strides in. Anyway, here's a simple AI test anybody can do. I'm not going to harp on all the bad things, but you can do this right now. All you have to do is open your Microsoft Edge browser, turn Copilot on. That's their Microsoft's artificial intelligence. So just for fun, I went ahead and did that, and I asked it the question, are AI data centers good for the environment? I can't tell you everything that came back, but I want to hit some highlights. The first thing was, most AI data centers have significant environmental impacts. And it goes right into talking about water usage. Cooling AI data centers requires large volumes of water. We all know that. Some facilities use up to 5 million gallons per day. This is from AI, which can strain local water resources, especially in hot or water-stressed regions. Now, this is me speaking. That 5 million a day, that's 8% of the average output of Jackson Blue Springs. And I know everybody on this commission, everybody in the county is very protective of the springs. But that's just to put it in perspective. A data center at the proposed location, first thing it's going to do is drain Compass Lake, and the next thing it's going to do is the Ecofina River, which is going to hurt our cousins to the south. So back to what AI says about data centers. AI data centers consume massive amounts of electricity to power high-performance servers and GPUs. Those are graphics processing units, which are just CPUs that do graphics, that manipulate the video. With some facilities using as much as 100,000 households annually, their electric consumption. So when I got this back, it goes on and on and on. You can do this for yourself. It's kind of fun, or ask it other questions. Artificial intelligence itself knows AI data centers are bad for the environment, and it's smart enough to tell us data centers are a bad idea. It's a shame that something we already know, and we didn't have to waste millions of dollars to deplete the aquifer, burn fossil fuels to generate enough electricity to power 100,000 houses. We could figure this out on our own. Also, this company that's proposing this data center has not been honest and forthcoming. Attempting to pass this project through as a solar farm is dishonest. There's no way they can build a solar farm big enough to provide their power. It can't be done. And if the local infrastructure can be upgraded to provide the required volume of power, the provider would go immediately to the Florida Public Service Commission. As you all know, we just lived through that last year, and they'll get a rate increase. That's how it works. So that's where we are. Thank you for the moratorium. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for letting us speak and make our voices heard. We appreciate everything you do for the county, but please help us protect our county and precious resources by doing everything we can to prevent this data center.
We'll be right there. We'll be right there.
And if I can help, if you have a panel or want citizens input,
Come get me. Thank you, probably that.
Hi there, I'm Kimberly Strawn. I'm on McCormick Lake, and I just want to say, I want to touch on something that hasn't been said. People don't realize there's frequencies that come off these data centers. I've been watching a lot of reviews of people that are so upset that actually have them, like out, for instance, out in Lake Tahoe. They get, their water is dirt. They have to find an alternative means for electricity, including the ski resorts out there, because a data center takes precedence. They look, our electrical grid will go with the money. They won't stay with us. So we're gonna be stuck with no electricity or an alternative means. Again, that's gonna take 4 to 5 years to even get an alternative means. So those people are really in trouble. And that's what we have to look for in our county. Also, all the natural resources are beautiful. We don't want that to go away. You know, it brings in a lot of tourism, I imagine. And people appreciate the clean lakes and the fishing and using our rivers. The other part was, I just want to say that I think people miss this because they couldn't hear you very well, that their moratorium, they want to look over, there's going to be a law that the lawyer presented, that he was saying that DeSantis had passed a law, and we need to also see if we can get that to take effect. Is that not right? We need to look at that for maybe a protection?
It takes effect on July 1st.
But you also were saying we want to wait for that law to take effect, right? And as well as to look that over for that year that we're gonna have.
Yes.
So that's something that we have to play with here. We just need more time, and that's what they're looking at to protect us from the data center, I meant.
On the statute 65.
And if anybody has anything to contribute, hopefully we can get a group together, possibly on Facebook or like you're saying, townhouse meetings. If any can glean this information, it'd be nice. I mean, imagine you have email, we can send things we find that would help this cause. Because nobody wants it, you know, and it may be something that would help, you know, in our favor, because like you said, you've got lots of hoops to jump over. They've got laws they have to follow when this comes presenting. It's not, we're all, you know, everybody's getting mad at them. Don't get mad at them. These guys are trying to work for us. They are trying to, from what I hear, you're trying to work for us. You don't want it either.
Want everything.
So that's why I'm saying we need to work together. Try not to view them as the enemies. It's the higher ups, and they're trying to make it so it's legal. So this is gone. And that's what we all need to work towards.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thank you. I want to say my name's Elijah Rao. I live in Washington County. That's where I grew up since I was a little boy. And I grew up going to the Econ Final Waters all the time, cool off in them. I have a multi-generational family farm over in Washington County. My friend's brother works at a data center, and they pay him very well because there's a hazard pay stated in their job agreement. EMFs are electromagnetic frequencies and are created by data centers in large amounts, causing radiation way beyond healthy human exposure levels, creating high health risk for the employees. ehsciences.org states that EMF exposure has been researched. Non-ionizing EMFs have been linked to credible, peer-reviewed, published scientific studies to childhood leukemia, central nervous system tumors, brain cancer, breast cancer, Alzheimer's disease, cognitive dysfunction, miscarriage, ADHD, obesity, asthma, oxidative stress, free radical formation, and DNA damage. However, the U.S. government currently lacks safety regulations to protect citizens against health effects from chronic exposure to the EMFs from power lines and electrical infrastructure. These EMF at data centers are strong enough they radiate into the surrounding neighborhoods beyond just the data centers, along with concern for power outages and surges causing damage to neighborhood houses and appliances has been recorded. Jobs. My friend's brother is the only legal U.S. citizen that is employed at the center. So a question to consider is, who are we making jobs for? Yes, a lot of construction jobs would be available to build a data center, but after it's built, source broadstaffglobal.com states that typical staffing benchmarks for data centers are 8 to 15 operational staff for small facilities at 1 to 5 megawatts, and
Thank you, sir.
35 to 45 for large facilities at 200 plus.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Yes.
It also affects all the food supply, and my brother's a commercial fisherman.
Yes.
This affects my livelihood as a landscaper and nursery and fountain downstream from it.
Thank you.
So please take
Yes.
all these into consideration, especially the EMFs. Thank you.
We got a long way to go.
Hello, my name is Rhiannon Richard, and I wanted to say that, did you know that the Panhandle has the most biodiversity in the country? We are America's Amazon. Dirty, muddy water coming out of the tap from our aquifer. I feel I speak for everybody when I say that is a serious concern of all of the residents near Econfina. That is the disappointing reality of the residents in Morgan County, Georgia. That's an hour and 30 minutes from us. Recently this month, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had made it known that the people of the rural part of Georgia no longer have access to clean drinking water, and in a result, they have to get their water shipped in. She took a sample straight from their water supply and displayed it at a congressional subcommittee hearing. The water appeared dark brown and muddy. Is that what we want for our people? I've been canoeing the Econfina since before I could pronounce it. Now I take my 10-year-old son kayaking there and to all the springs connected to it. For many of us, this is how we spend our weekends and afternoons cooling off. Where will the kids play during summer breaks if these waters get polluted? Can the residents afford to have water shipped in if the developers decide to cut corners and decide to ask for permission instead of forgiveness? Or instead to ask for forgiveness instead of permission? I have a couple other things, but I want to keep it short because you guys did what you did, and
Thank
I
you. Yes,
appreciate
ma'am.
the momentarium.
You're welcome,
Thank you.
and we all appreciate that. Thank you for moving. Sir, you gotta be tired. You've been standing up there the whole time. Go ahead. I can understand.
Good evening. Thanks for your time today.
Yes, sir.
I did not come with an elaborate, comment list that I came to post my personal feelings about this and my experience. We live on 17 Mile Pond. Most of you guys know where that is. Second cleanest body of water in the state of Florida. Excuse me.
No motor.
We're about 5 or 6 feet down right now. We're having to water our trees to keep them alive. We have neighbors in our community that are re-drilling wells because theirs aren't deep enough. I have a friend that's here, a neighbor. She has a small farm in our community. This is going to affect everybody so greatly. I'm glad to see that you guys are on board with the opposition to this data center. It's probably not what they say it is. AI is a scary thing. Evidently, nobody saw Terminator but me. It's important. It's crucial that we stop this project. I see other areas around the country that are having 10-year moratoriums on these data centers.
Florida?
No, just other areas. And I'm not sure. It may be within Florida. But we appreciate your due diligence in this whole process. So who would approve this data center for construction? How would that process work?
Planning, commission, board.
I
Probably
mean,
nobody.
I own a business. I had to jump through many hoops to get my business license in Jackson County. So I can't imagine something like that would be easy. But we appreciate your effort and expect you guys to put everything you got into this. Thanks
Appreciate
so
you
much.
coming. Thank you.
Your name? My name is Bill C. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Oh, yeah, man.
My name's Jack Stabler. I've spoken to you guys on several occasions, and right now I want to talk about this. And what this is, and I'm going to explain why, this is the dumbing down of America. Kids can't write cursive writing. They can't read a map. They can't do anything. So what do? You go hit the button and it tells you what to do. We're dumbing everybody down. The bill that Governor DeSantis also put, it's not meant for us. It's meant for developers. There's a whole bunch of these things they've just passed. If you get into it and really read it, it's about developers and protecting them. It's not about protecting we the people. So I think it's about time that we turn the thing around here, because this affects everybody. This isn't race, color, creed, religion, politics, anything. This is something that affects every single man, woman, and child. And the next thing that's going to happen is the aerial spraying that Governor DeSantis passed the bill on. Nothing's been done about that. Not one thing has been done. The bees are dying, all this, there's a lot of things happening on it, and this stuff's all tied together. So it's control for everybody, because we the sheeple have seen go at whatever they tell us we should do, and that's time. It needs to stop. Go back to when we started our country. And again, how did they store meat? How did they grow crops before? They didn't have chemicals in them. They drove cross country with meat on a wagon all the way across, and there was no problems. But nowadays, we got a pill for it, or we got chemicals for it, so we'll take care of you. So I think it's time we need to take a step back and look in the mirror and look at really what the big picture is. And this would devastate Jackson County to have this, because it won't go away. They're gonna come back again with more. So, anyway, thank
sir.
you.
Yes, ma'am. Tell him your name.
Brody Phelps. I am 19. I live in Panama City, Florida. And ever since I was pretty much born, I've been coming to these springs and loving them and enjoying them. And just on paper, this AI data center makes literally no sense. There's no reason to add it except for to make billionaires and other people who already make enough money. It literally hurts every other person in the process. And I shouldn't even have to explain it because basic thought and research will explain it very clearly. And I didn't want to speak, but also I feel like I should, because there's might be a day where I show my kids videos of me at these springs and they're like, where is that? And I'm gonna have to go, it's under the AI data center. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
You're recognized.
My name is Grace Carr. I live in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm a public servant. I know y'all are tired, so I'll make it short.
Thank you.
My dad is a native to Florida, and he always tells everybody he meets he was here before I-4 and Disney World. So just to make it short, I think, you know, as everybody said, we should try to keep Florida, Florida. I know that if you look at Tampa, any of the big cities, you know, since 50s and 60s, it's completely gotten out of control. You can't go anywhere without an hour and a half drive. And I just think that this is the first step in making these beautiful rural places uninhabitable for the people who made it as beautiful as it is today. So that's all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're recognized.
Hi, my name's Crystal Murphy and I actually reside in Chipley. The one thing that I did want to touch on quickly is that I have not heard yet is if the data center is put in, then that power has to go somewhere and they have to run those lines somewhere. So when I was listening to the gentleman who was a Vietnam vet talking about his home, right now Georgia is dealing with eminent domain. People are losing their homes. There were roughly 330 properties that were used for easement acquirement, as well as 20 to 30 homes that are slated for full demolition. That would be great if they would give us the money that our homes are worth, but that will never happen. So people that end up losing their homes because of eminent domain will never be able to afford to buy a home in Florida. They'll have to leave, they'll have to go to another state or move in with their families. And this is something that's happening to our neighbors in Georgia. And I'm sure that when they were told that these data centers were going to come in, they were given, you know, great buzzwords and colorful language, and it sounded so good until the people came with the paperwork to tell them they were losing their home. So, you know, please consider that when you're making these decisions. And I am so grateful that you are considering what we as the people want, and I appreciate your time.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. And only for a point, very quickly, a friend of mine, acquaintance of mine called me today, working for the data center. He was working for them right then. He said, Jackson County does not want anything like this. And he made some statements. That was living proof at the point of contact. Thank you, sir. Go ahead. Just give the man your name.
Thanks, Alan Barber. I won't dwell on the negative impact of this entity. It's already been covered, extra heat, water table, heat in our air, noise, lights at night haven't been mentioned. But the economic impact of one of these on a community is often cited as a benefit of data centers, and this is an illusion. Construction jobs, temporary construction jobs, these jobs will be so specialized installing this special equipment that those workers will come from outside of our county. Long-term jobs, next to none. You heard the gentleman earlier speaking about his brother working at one. The big sales pitch from AI companies like Amazon and Meta to corporations when they're selling them AI is you can reduce your workforce by 30–40%. And that's true. And they're doing it. And we read in the news every day about big layoffs. Even Amazon themselves just laid off another 8,000 people within the last week or two. AI, this entity, this plant is going to run itself essentially. It's high technology. It's going to run with a minimum of people. AI will let it run with a minimum of people. Now I have a quick question, try and wrap up here. It's about the moratorium that you just passed. I want to understand it better. I've been looking at the legislation that just passed that will be effective July 1st. A quick question. Is the moratorium you passed for 1 year effective July 1st?
No, sir.
Effective now?
No, sir. Effective on passing.
Which, make a wild guess when that might be.
30 to 60 days.
Would that fall before or after July 1st? Help me out here.
Probably, yes.
All right. So we have this I forget the term, pre-development, whatever steps that this entity has taken. They've reached out to our community development department and presented documents and met with them. And so what happens if they get to the formal application process prior to this moratorium taking place? Are they they're under the wire, they're skirted it, now they're home free?
The Florida statute, the Florida statute that governor passed would probably intercede with that. But I can't prove that to you.
Intercede and,
That's like a legal, I hesitate.
oh, you're a lawyer.
I know, but
A good one.
I think that where you would run into a problem is preemption. So the reason why I'm advising the board to do this after July 1st would be you have that power once that statute is passed.
But I don't see in my reading of the statute that it sort of gives the county the ability to now have moratoriums. That moratoriums aren't even mentioned in the statute. Okay, I'll wrap up here.
Thank you.
The new law has a provision that if this applicant or any other begins to talk to you about financial incentives, like an exemption or reduction in property tax, once that process is initiated, all they have to do is ask. And you, by this new law, cannot reveal any details of that package for a period of 1 year. So the public won't even know what's in this package that you're about to give to one of these data centers.
They'll have to go through planning and zoning.
Right,
First,
but
is that right, Ms. Wade?
zoning will not be allowed to tell us, the public, what's in that package under this
Is that
law.
right, Ms. Wade?
And all they have to do to get a non-disclosure agreement with planning is to request one. The law then requires planning.
Then we don't need a planning commission then.
Then planning is required under this new law to give them the NDA. So just,
Hold on, sir. Dr. Spires, you recognize.
Well, Mr. Barber, but ultimately, it's this board's decision to approve or not to approve
approve what?
the plan that they submit.
That's right, but as you are considering it over some period of time, the public will be kept in the dark because we will not even know what you're considering because the county is under this non-disclosure agreement.
So are you want to consider being in the dark or you want to consider it being legal?
I'm sorry.
What are you asking for? Are you asking for something to be in the dark or you consider it to be legal? I'm sorry, Dr. Spires.
No.
I just don't want to I don't want it to get to a point where we're even negotiating with applications
That's not,
because we have a moratorium.
yes, sir, and that's not this board's desire either if you saw the vote. It'd be
Right.
the same way, but anyway, go ahead, Dr. Spires.
I'm just saying, ultimately, it comes back to this board, doesn't it?
Right, but we would have no.
Typically, for development orders, a development order for any development goes through the planning and zoning and it comes to this board for final approval.
Yes, it does, but in this case, the law prevents the public from knowing what the planning department and your board are considering.
Well, then what we did wasn't any good then.
What law are you referencing?
This new
I'm
law that
confused.
becomes effective July 1st, that your attorney has referenced tonight,
But we have no control over that.
yes, yes, you do.
Tell me how, sir.
Pass a moratorium that prevents, immediately. Well, I know you have a process to go through ordinances and things, but expedite it so that,
And right now is not the time to do that with our time limit. We have a board meeting to go all the way through with a group of men.
but I just want to make you aware.
Well, we
of
understand.
those loopholes.
Yes, sir, and we appreciate you. Yes, sir.
And I think it is on our.
Deputy, remove everyone that wants to keep making noise, please.
I was just gonna say that I think it is in our best interest to move as expeditiously as possible through the process legally, to get to a point where the moratorium is in place.
How y'all doing? I appreciate your time listening to every single one of us. My name is Isaac.
Hold up, right?
Yes.
Mr. Donovan, you want to speak more?
No, no, sir.
So my name is Isaac Tolis.
Speak more, hold on,
Uh,
sir.
Yeah,
yes.
but the moratorium supposed to be, and you can't do anything to your papers, or unless we change it. So that kind of keeps it locked out, and then to try to even get a development order. If the moratorium's in place, isn't that right? Is that right? The moratorium is to hold it back,
Correct.
you know, for the public. And we made a decision to not do anything to that until a year.
Correct. Yes.
So, I mean, it can't come in there and do anything in between, can it?
In theory, someone could come in between now and the time the ordinance is passed, yeah. But you've got to pass the ordinance and you got to advertise that to the appropriate time. For it to be effective. Correct.
The moratorium,
It would require 2 public hearings.
Yes, sir.
And then we could pass the ordinance.
Correct. Yes, sir.
So, I mean, that's when we talked about the timelines, you know. There's a legal timeline that we got to get to be able to pass that moratorium in an ordinance format, I guess is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
even if they came and did anything in between, we still gotta prove it, haven't we?
Correct. Yes, sir. And P and Z has to do their.
Yeah,
do
so we
their
can
work
not,
as well.
we can turn it down.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all understand that? Okay.
You recognize? Tell him your name.
Yes, so my name is Isaac Tolis. I am a youth pastor. I am also a drug education teacher, and my students in the classroom are definitely going to be affected by this data center. Listen, there's drug environments that we see and don't see, and I know this data center for a fact is definitely a lot of the noise pollution, a lot of the people that are going to be driven out. I know the drug problem is going to go up because of this. I may not have this facts, I may not have like the actual statistics for it, but I know for sure that more families, especially those who are already struggling in poverty and dealing with dysfunction and drug abuse, is definitely going to get worse because of this data center. Thank you all. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am, you recognize.
My name is Susanna Stone. I live about 5 minutes from the proposed data center. And ever since I've heard the news, I've been going out and looking at the stars. I've been feeling the rain. This would be absolutely detrimental to our area, and you guys know that. You will lose so many people in this county, so many good people. You see the people that have shown up today. We've got teachers, we've got nurses, we've got people that we need in this area. We'll lose wildlife, animals, and good people. And I appreciate that you guys are taking the steps needed to prevent this from happening to our county. But please, please, please say no.
Thank you. Everybody finished? We have a 5-minute recess.
Hello, my name is Arabella Craig, and I live in Bay County, and it's a bit far from the data center. But I've been going to these springs since I was a child, and it's just devastating thinking about all of the pollution that's going to go into the water and how much water is going to be used and taken away from families and their friends and our community. And the water is something that we live off of, something that we make money from, something that we have so many memories tied to. And it's honestly really appalling how it's even being considered that there's going to be like a data center built. It shows such a lack of consideration for our community and for our land and for our people. And a year-long ban is not enough. It needs to be a permanent no. But I understand that there's legal processes and things. But I thank you for that 1 year of time that we have to educate ourselves more and to educate others more.
We thank you for coming.
Yes.
You got 1 minute, Jack.
Yeah, I won't need 1 minute. I just have one thing to say. You think about data centers and what they are. They're giant leeches. They suck and suck and suck and give nothing back.
Amen. Thank you. All right. We'll have a 5-minute recess. All right. I'll bring us back to order and from our 5 minute recess, a little bit late, but.
We keeping it close.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Name we recognize you.
Mr. Westbrook, after the discussion that we've just been through, I would request, that the board hold a public hearing on June the 9th to, have the first reading of the, ordinance to implement a moratorium on data centers for Jackson County.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a statement and a motion, second. To have a moratorium hearing on
June the 9th, yes. And
At the 9 o'clock meeting.
at the 9 o'clock meeting.
What's the board pleasure?
9 o'clock AM.
Raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
And Mr. Westbrook, this all hinges on the ability to get this advertised in the paper Thursday morning.
I think that can happen. All right, moving on.
Okay, Mr. Westbrook, we're gonna jump right into section 1. Section 1 is the added, item, which is the sale of surplus property. We're asking the board to approve the sales contract and the resolution associated with the sale of this property. It's a 5.4 acre tract. The sale price is $10,000 and it appraised for $8,000. Asking for board approval.
I'll offer a motion to approve the sales agreement as described by Mr. Dean.
I have a motion, I can have a second from Mr. Crutchfield. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Okay, Mr. Westbrook, moving into section number 2, we have a board review and approval of the Powers LLC wireless communication facility. Where the location is on the west side of Sylvania Plantation Road, about a half a mile northwest of the intersection of Fort Road. And we're asking for board approval.
Your public hearing.
This is a public hearing, so, yeah.
Public hearing.
Ask anybody in the audience if they.
After the public hearing. And Mr. Westbrook asking that we go into a public hearing.
What's the board's pleasure? Where you wanna go now? Yeah. Well, we'll just right on in, then you got a public hearing in order. Thank you.
If there's no comment, then we.
Anybody on the phone or any comment to be made about the public hearing? Come right on ahead. How you doing?
Mr. Chairman, board members, James McNichol, 6119 Bermuda Drive, Fleming Island, Florida. I'm assuming you guys have had this in your package and looked at it, so I'm not gonna give you the long speech here, but I am available for questions if anybody has.
You're married about the gentleman for doing
that.
Board, what's the board play?
Make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion to approve. I have a second.
Second.
Got a second, Dr. Spires. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Mr. Westbrook, has another public hearing. This is, request review by the, board of a multi-use trail submission to, the ARPC. There is a regional rural transportation plan, that is, developed by the Appalachia Regional Planning Council. They have developed that plan and they're asking, as a part of a public hearing, asking for the board to formally support the regional rural transportation plan developed by ARPC. Mr. Donifro sat in on one of those meetings. If he wants to comment.
We've got Mary O'Brien here in the audience, but I do serve on that committee. And by the nature of what we're doing there, we've adopted a regional rural transportation plan. There are a number of projects on that plan, and we're allowed to add 2 projects. Mary, is that correct? And one of the projects that we're proposing to add is the trail, the Mariana Multi-Use Trail. And I think it meets a lot of the requirements of the Regional Rural Transportation Plan, and I think it's a good fit. So I think it's something that we should do that, and we should ask, if there's any public comment.
Do we have to go to public hearing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, there we are, we on it? Anybody got a comment or say it? Want to walk on the trail first? Anything? What's the board's pleasure?
I make a motion to approve it.
Got a motion to approve in a second?
I have a quick
Uh,
question.
Yes, sir, you do.
Do we have a second project?
We do not have a second project. Do we have a second project, Mary? Yeah, 2 segments, that's right. That's right. Okay, yeah. I think that's a good question. That was the 2 projects. It was divided into 2 segments. Thank you.
Do we need to vote on two? Okay. Don't carry the same motion in a second?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along. It carries.
Mr. Westbrook, moving into section 3, community development. This is the agenda item that was tabled at the last meeting, asking for review of the applications for 4 vacancies on the Affordable Housing Committee. We have, again, there were 8 applicants and 4 vacancies. We're asking for the board to make a selection of 4 to serve on that committee. And those are on page 61 at the bottom of the page, the list of.
Commissioner Bryant to recognize.
I make a motion that we select Charlene Tricky Durham.
Okay.
Dunham. No, it's Durham.
Durham. I think she's in the audience. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see her back there. Is it Durham or Dunham? That's what I thought. You threw me off.
She serves on Jackson County TDC as well.
Yeah.
I'll second that motion. We're gonna take these one at a time, or do we?
That's up to the board.
Well, we just be able to do all of them, unless we got to have some kind of special different vote, then I think.
I think it was Commissioner Spires that raised the issue about making sure that we had a good cross-section of the county geographically speaking.
Well, and he was very right to say that.
I make a motion to do Jenny Ann Dean.
Have a motion by Jenny Ann Dean.
Hold on a second.
Yes, sir.
Let's get, if we're gonna do them one at a time, let's do one motion at a time. We won't confuse me.
You tell me, Mr. Clerk, how you want it.
No, I think that's gonna keep me and Miss Marie straight. So we got, Commissioner Branch and, or
Ms. Dean.
Durham, and I don't know if we got a second.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right.
And then y'all we'll do that one and then.
Have we
that'll
got
keep
another?
us straight.
We gotta have 4. That's 3, right?
We're gonna do them one at a time.
Individually.
One at a time, so he can keep
Okay.
a better record of it.
All right, move along.
I've got a vote.
Yeah, sure. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Okay, we, Mr. Crutchfield had, or Mr. West.
No, Mr. Crutchfield nominated,
Jenny Ann
Jenny Ann
Dean.
Dean.
Jenny Ann Dean.
nominate Ms. Nilsson, Hamilton area.
I'm gonna do them one at a time, though. We need to vote this one in, don't we?
Oh, yeah, well, then it's sorry.
Yeah.
All right,
Got a motion to
Aye,
do Jenny. I'll
yeah.
second Miss Jenny Ann Dean.
all right.
Her-
Motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Go to the next.
You got it.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Nilsson, make a motion to nominate Ms. Nilsson.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Nominate the lady. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along. That's all of it, man.
You got one more.
Okay, let's get one more. I left it for y'all to do the nominating. I gave my part of it.
We
Well,
had-
Rebecca
we had
Robertson.
Last.
Ms. Robertson.
Ray Greenwood.
That would be a good one.
Make a motion to
I
nominate.
see her sitting right there.
I'll second that.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Well, Ms. Robinson, all in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, move along. Congratulations to all the ladies that got appointed.
I'm nominated.
Okay, that takes care of section 3. Next, you ready for me to move on, Mr. Westbrook?
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving into section 4, the first item is the consent agenda to pay the bills, approve the minutes, and then the museum business plan, which we discussed at the last special meeting. We received comments from the commissioners. We incorporated those comments. Then the D is the board approval of a TDC sponsorship for $2,500 for an event coming up in Jackson County. And E is the board approval of the lowest bid on the resurfacing of overlay for Holy Neck Road.
Offer a motion to approve the consent agenda items. I do have one question, and I think I asked Ms. Jackson this. I know I had made several comments on the museum, and I didn't get a chance to look through it, but were those incorporated into the plan?
Yes, sir, they were.
Take your word for it. Thank you.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve all the consent agenda items. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is the request board set a special meeting for selection and review of the potential proposed health insurance plans. On June the 4th, we will receive health insurance proposals that will be closed out, and then those will be reviewed by our consultant, and we are asking the board to set a special meeting for July the 7th at 9 a.m. for a presentation of those different proposals and selection by the Board of County Commissioners.
One short question, very briefly. We can't take that on the 6th?
Of June?
What we had something just a while ago about the June the 6th, is that correct?
The 9th, that was the regular meeting. We're hoping to set this special meeting, and then we would approve this on the 7th. The 9th was a regularly scheduled.
I yield.
So just for clarification, the 9th is on a Tuesday?
Tuesday at 9 o'clock in the morning.
7th.
But this is July.
Oh, July. Okay.
This is July, not June.
So at that meeting, are we gonna have a recommendation on the ranking, or how's that gonna work?
The consultant will present all the proposals that were received, and we'll go over each one of the proposals and show you how she came up with a recommendation on which one that she recommends to select based on all the factors associated with the evaluation.
And then we'll pass
And then
judgment on that recommendation.
Then it would be up to the commission to decide on which one you would want to select.
Okay, well, I'll offer a motion that we set a special meeting to hear the recommendation from the consultant on July 7th.
At 9 a.m. in the
9
morning.
o'clock a.m.
All will be front and center.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Everybody approve, raise your right hand. Everybody don't approve? Over. Go ahead.
Mr. Westbrook, at the last meeting, the Board of County Commissioners authorized us to do our RFQ, request for qualifications for disaster recovery consultant. We now want to establish what the ranking criteria will be, and also the evaluation criteria and the ranking committee for the board. And so we're asking for board approval. And the board would act as the ranking committee.
Sure, administrators. Proposal, everybody. Favor,
I'll offer a
everybody,
motion.
need a motion? Okay.
I'll offer a motion that we go along with the staff recommendation to set the board as the ranking committee for the and approve the evaluation criteria for the disaster recovery consultant.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item on the agenda is board approval of award for lift station generators. The board had received a grant from the Florida Department of Florida, FDEMP, Florida Division of Emergency Management, under the HMGP program. The bid was opened, and then the low bid was $679,502, which was outside of the budget established by the grant amount of $435,790. The engineer and the low bidder worked on doing some value engineering to get the price down within the budget. They were successful to get the price of the generators down to the allocated budget amount. So we're asking that the board approve the awarding to ESSE for the purchase of generators and installation.
One quick question. What brand?
And generator. Another question, I mean, that's a substantial difference between the
Sure is.
original bid and the VE.
Must saw us coming.
What, was there any substantial changes? And I
I don't know if Mr. Daniels is available, but it is my understanding that the sizing was changed to some degree. And they were able to, that's what substantially reduced the price. The sizing of some of the generators.
But you don't know the brand.
No, sir, I do not.
Was this an all-day Howell job?
No, sir, this is a DHM. We put the approval letter in your package, recommendation of approval. And Mr. Daniels, you want to comment?
Mr. Daniels, you know what brand we got?
It'd be Generac generators, and the biggest reduction in price was from, oh, sorry, that's a little loud. Biggest reduction in price was from the sizing reduction, and that was based on electrical engineers' analysis of the facilities in question, as well as the location of the generators in reference to the existing meter locations. So where the transfer switch is going to be mounted, that'll reduce the conduit and the additional wiring that'll be needed to make the connection.
And will they be put out of the weather or in the weather?
They are enclosed, so they will, the entire machine will be outside, but they are enclosed.
And these are all in hurricane resistant enclosures as well.
That, I don't know about that. They're called sound muffling enclosures. So the only one that may be placed actually in the facility would be the emergency management building that has a cubby hole in the building for a generator.
We feel comfortable with the reduction in price that we're getting what we need.
We do. I felt the generators were oversized from the get-go. So I'm actually more comfortable now knowing we've got adequate sizing now, because you don't want them oversized either.
Right.
So having it matched to the facility, I think is going to end us a better product. Okay.
Thank you.
Yep.
You sound like you're well aware. What's the board's pleasure?
I make a motion to approve it.
Have a motion to approve. I have a second.
Second.
Got 2 seconds, Mr. Branch and Mr. Donifred. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Moving on.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is another board approval of the sale of vacant land through our realtor services. We're asking for the board to approve the contract along with the resolution to actually consummate the sale and close on the transaction. This is a small lot over off of Putnam Street near the library. It was assessed for $14,000 and the purchase price is $15,000.
Putnam Street holds a dear place in my heart. I used to live there when I went to college for so long a time.
It was also a place where Ryan's kindergarten was for a long time.
Yep, it sure was.
Now, we had purchased this piece of property, and I'm going way back before my time, for additional parking for the library, but the topography never made sense to use it as parking. So I guess we've come to the conclusion that it's not feasible for parking.
There's a substantial slope to the lot, and there is, if you've been by there on a regular basis, there's very few cars in the parking lot.
And Rhett and them have done a good job of keeping it cleaned. I appreciate that. I'll offer a motion to approve the sale and the contract.
Got a motion to approve, got a second by Mr. Bryant. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is board approval of Indian Springs Phase 2B change order. This is a change order to purchase a transducer, install a transducer at the Wayside Park lift station. And it adds $20,000 to the project, $20,400. The cost is covered by the grant that we've received from Northwest Florida Water Management District.
We think that must have been some of my permit fees that they got at Northwest Florida Water Management District.
We'll approve it.
Heard it, yes, got a motion and a second to approve right here. Need to be aware of that. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign, moving on.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is a agenda item that we tabled at the last meeting. This is a road swap with the city of Marianna. They are going to take over the responsibility of the right-of-way on Milton Street, which is right across Highway 90 from the McDonald's on the west end, from Highway 90 all the way to Old Cottondale Road. In exchange, the county would formally take over Old Cottondale Road from Penn Avenue going to the west. And we're asking for board approval of the swap agreement, which has been reviewed by our attorney. And we'll answer any questions if you have any.
What's the board's pleasure?
Quick,
Yes, sir, go ahead.
has someone looked at, they're about the same as far as condition?
I do know that, and, of course, this was not, at one time was in my district. I think it's in Commissioner Spires' district now. That section of road, I was actually a city commissioner. I think Mr. Dean may have been the city manager at that time. I don't recall, maybe not. That road was repaved, and in that section we're taking, there's a couple of spots that were, I guess, utility lines across the road that are gonna need some repair pretty quick. We need to be aware of that.
It is possible. And also the city did say that they are pursuing a grant to run a sidewalk from Highway 90 all the way to Old Cottondale Road, where they had that sidewalk project that they finished a few years ago.
What's the board's pleasure?
Have you thought about how we would, ameliorate situations where citizens all thinking that is still within my purview, and it's not gonna be within the city's purview? How we gonna handle that?
Well, we surely will make everyone aware of that, Mr. Spires, that the ownership or maintenance of that roadway has been transferred to the city. But if you've got a suggestion that you'd like for us to implement, I'll be glad to do it.
Everything in mind, just want to make certain that that's conveyed to the citizens who may be holding me responsible for something that I have no responsibility for.
Yes, sir. We could even, I mean, most of the residents are right there at Gibbs Village. We could actually probably do a public PSA to Gibbs Village.
Who's conveyed?
Yes, sir.
Motion and a second. I'll entertain either one.
So moved.
Got a motion?
Second.
Got a second? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Move along.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is associated with Sunland. As a result of some of the major fires down in the central part of the state, the folks at the Agency for Persons with Disability at Sunland reached out to us. They have been asked by their director to provide some type of reactionary plan to potential fires in Jackson County. They were looking for a place that they could stage clients for approximately 24 hours so that they could make more permanent arrangements for those clients. And so they reached out to us to establish a memorandum of understanding to be able to use the Ag Center on Highway 90. Primary reason for that is that it has stalls and things of that nature like that for the livestock. They have approximately 40 head of cows that they would want to locate there as well. But the city would not be responsible for anything. We had our attorney review it, and we're comfortable that for the temporary nature of the agreement that it's okay.
For a motion to approve the MOU between JC, Jackson County and Sunland Center.
Second. Got a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign.
Mr. Westbrook, the next item is the last item, which is number 9, the one we added. This is a grant agreement between the state of Florida and Jackson County Board of County Commissioners. As the commission may or may not remember, after Hurricane Michael, the state of Florida made grant dollars available to counties and cities to assist businesses that were impacted by the hurricane. The smoke shop out on the east end of town, east of Mariana, was one of the selected businesses. However, they made the decision not to open again, or they did not want to use the grant dollars that were made available. So the grant dollars, the initial grant dollars, were moved to the Madison restaurant that Scott, the owner of Beef O'Brady's, purchased. He applied for the grant funds to be administered by the county. It was originally $400,000 approximately, just to make the building structurally sound. The state of Florida made it another $1.6 million available so that they could reestablish the restaurant and open it for business, put it back on the tax rolls as an operating business. And so we're asking the board to approve the proposed grant agreement, subject to there being no substantive changes after tonight.
What's the pleasure of the board?
Well, for motion to approve.
Motion to approve and a second by Commissioner Branch. All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Yeah, is that your last item?
That's it, Mr. Westbrook. What you got?
Yes, sir. Mr. Crutchfield wants to speak. You recognize?
I've been asked by the senior citizen in Graceville. Some reason or another, they think they got mold in their old building, and which they ain't been letting the seniors go in there for the last probably month. And also, I don't know, I reckon they not meeting right now, the elderly, meeting.
Yes.
And they want me to ask, I know the license where the not the license, tax collector's office was there in Graceville by the fire and rescue. Want to know if they could use that, rent it, use it, whatever, for them to meet in there. They wouldn't make no changes, just for the seniors to meet in there. I think they meet 2 to 3 times a week.
Who is this?
Senior citizen.
Oh, senior citizens.
Mr. Westbrook?
Yes, sir.
It would be just for meeting and that's it.
Yeah.
That facility's not being used right now at all, is it?
It's not being used now. And I don't know what they're gonna do about that building yet. They've been trying to work on trying to get a grant, build a new building, but that's kind of a long way down the road. I don't know if they've had that building checked or not too. That was my opinion. They should have it checked, make sure it might not be mold. But so far they didn't want to do that.
They have 2 buildings here. Don't
Yeah, the old building where the seniors meet, the old block building used to be the old USDA building.
Yes.
That's their office, main office really.
they? You put a roof on it.
Yeah.
That's not the building you're talking about though. Right?
They put a roof on both of them.
Yeah.
What happened, here's what I think happened, that building is real old and it been moved in there and sitting on blocks and I think it's a low area there, your moisture underneath and probably hadn't had any paper under the tar, plastic to keep the moisture from rising and whatever it is trying to grow through the cracks or whatever.
I can't imagine
That's
how
what I
old it is
understand.
anyway.
Oh, I hadn't saw it exactly what that was. I've been in it and Mr. Dean there had met when we went there one day to look at that building and he kind of knows kind of situation there it was. But it wasn't no mold looking stuff in there then.
No,
But that's what they want to add. My opinion was, I don't know who does that, but if somebody check for mold, just see if it is mold,
Dr. Fire.
Yeah, I don't have any opposition because Mr. Crutchfield's request, but will it be covered under the county's general liability?
So, Dr. Spires, typically in those situations, we would use our new facilities rental policy, the lease policy. They would have to indemnify and hold us harmless for any accidents or in hazards that came apart on the property. Our insurance would probably still cover us, but that's obviously not the biggest issue. It would be if we got sued. So they would need to, depending on, and I don't know the facility, I'm sorry, Commissioner Crutchfield, but they would need to indemnify us, hold us harmless for the use of that facility.
They have insurance, with the insurance they already have.
It might, what they may need to do is either try and add us as a named insured or see if it covers additional realty and
If they
leases.
move temporary to a new.
Right, and if they need to reach out to me, I'm happy to assist with any organization.
We'll pursue that before we enter any kind of agreement, is that right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the board pleasure?
I'd like to, we let them use it on, a temporary basis, you know, to figure out what they're gonna do.
I need a second. Got a second?
I'll say.
Got a motion and a second to allow the senior citizen graceful to use the building that we're talking about? All in favor?
Pending,
Sir,
agreement, pending agreement.
pending the agreement? Any other additions to the motion?
So will we, I'm sorry,
That's all right, go ahead.
will we have to table it and readdress it next time, or how we have it?
So what we'll do is we'll prepare the agenda item and bring it back to you all for a separate meeting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, got him up, Mr. Bryant?
I'll just vote.
Oh, okay, you vote, you get ready to vote?
I'm ready to vote.
All in favor of the motion, signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Got anything else?
I got one thing.
Okay,
Just
you
real quick,
recognize?
Brett, Berkshire Road, across from the chalets, it runs all the way back through what I'll call, Sheffield area back there. I was on that road today, it needs, the limbs trimmed on it. Can we check into that and just see? Okay, thank you.
Gonna get the limbs trimmed? Everybody got the limb they want trimmed?
You go in.
I got some, but
Well, are we finished? Dr. Spires moved, we ride.